All right, so we're going to be talking about William Shakespeare's Macbeth. It was published in 1623, but he started writing it in 1606.
Mm-hmm.
So Shakespeare, we know he's made Romeo and Juliet, Tempest, Julius Caesar, books like this. Hamlet being his most prominent, I believe. Have you read any of this?
No.
You haven't?
Macbeth.
I've read Macbeth, Hamlet, Othello, and King Lear. Oh, and Romeo and Juliet and Midsummer Night's Dream. But of those, I feel like I'm going Hamlet, Lear, Macbeth. Then all the other ones are like kind of, yeah. Especially Romeo and Juliet, because it's not even like.
I think Romeo and Juliet is probably overrated.
It is. No, it's also like not even really his story, because it was based on another story called Pyramus and Thisbe. It's basically the same thing, just that even like better, because it involves a lion instead of poison. So yeah, we have that. Shakespeare was born like outside of Leicester or something in England. Have you heard about the thing that Shakespeare might not even be a real person?
No.
That okay, so
Is that a
like
conspiracy theory?
yeah, so that all the all of Shakespeare's plays were actually written by like a conglomeration of people, and not actually by one.
Put it out
as Shakespeare. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
So that they could like create.
What's the proof of that?
So that they could create an English icon. Well, because there's always like
shifts in like.
No. Well, it's the diction, but it's also there will always be collaborations like detailed in the author like pages, like it'll be
There's
like
a lot.
And it's always like the same three guys. So like the whole thing is that Shakespeare was just created so that like England would have like a prominent.
How did they get that picture of him?
Like, huh? Oh, the one with like the earrings
Yeah.
and there's like, yeah, no clue. That's what I'm saying. He low-key might not be real. I would love for that to be the case because like England, just Okay, so Shakespeare wrote Macbeth based off of an actual like story of like a Scottish king. The name of the king was not actually Macbeth, and all the names that he uses in the story
changes them.
Yeah, they're not like actually about about Macbeth Banquo. The king at the time, his name was like King James. He was actually related to who Banquo would have been in the story, like the actual like Banquo. That's why Banquo isn't made out to be the villain. Like because if he would have written him to be the villain, it would have been like an act of treason against the king. Yeah. That's also why like I feel like Macbeth is like really good because it's really Game of Thronesy. It's like about Succession and shit. Have you watched Succession?
No.
No, you should watch that.
I was thinking so.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that one's good.
Sounds good.
Succession is like pretty good. So yeah, we can start talking about the
So wait, can you give some more background on the real life story?
Okay, so
what actually happened in real life?
Yeah, we so it's based in Scotland, like the play. It at one point it was made to, there was this whole like curse that came with the play of Macbeth because it was written based off of, like I said, an actual story that happened about a king. His name was not Macbeth. There's no actual name for what, because it's all.
But in the story, or in real life, does the king, you said it was James?
Yeah,
was he actually killed?
No. King James was related to who Banquo would have been in the story, so he was like a descendant of Banquo. Yeah, because that was in England and Banquo was Scottish, so like, you know.
Yeah.
But what I was going back with, it was called the Play of Scotland for a time because apparently Shakespeare like used like actual incantations from like witches and stuff, and they like cursed the play so that it would like make like no money, it would not be successful, that there would be a lot of tragedies with it. And this is actually what I found was like that there have been a lot of deaths in like stage productions of Macbeth. That's it's insane, but yeah. So
anyway, he changed the name because of the witches or because of copyright?
Yeah, no. Well, it was a both kind of thing because he didn't want to get sued by anybody with the Macbeth thing.
And he also didn't want to be cursed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's who the three sisters, the witches, are based off of. It was like a group of witches that he like found on this like from the story.
Wait. Were like the real life witches like pissed?
Yeah, no. So they like apparently that's why they like they
it?
cursed it because he was like stealing their like incantations for like some of the lines from the play.
Yeah.
Are like,
and the witches apparently were like very ugly in the play.
Yeah.
So
and they were also like genderless and stuff like, and the whole gender fluidity thing was not like a thing that they appreciated back then.
Wait, you said this before, but like when were they genderless? Like I thought they were just women.
No, they're also no. They're referred to as the sisters, but they're always referred to as like
they.
Well, obviously they're going to be referred to as they because there's multiple of them.
Yeah.
But like they're not said to be women.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're always like referred to as like genderless. Like that. That's why they're like that's it's.
No way, is that actually it?
Yeah, and that's why they're like called like ugly and stuff. Because like I remember back then, a woman was beautiful, a man was courageous, and then everything outside would have been ugly to them. Yeah, so it basically.
So it was also pushing gender norms technically, because it's saying that like a woman are like they're like supposed to be like beautiful and like not supposed to work hard, and men are supposed to be like kind of like Macbeth.
I mean, but that's where we get to later with the
and
whole
like the
Lady
witches,
Macbeth
since
stuff.
they're like genderless or like they're not conformed to gender norms, they're ugly,
and that's why they're the ones like cursing people and stuff. They're like they're driving the story. They're really they're kind of the villains because they're the ones giving like Macbeth an idea of what's happening. But so apparently the real life witches saw this as like slander, so then of course they like decided to curse the play. So then, like I said, a lot of people started dying with it. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, then we have that. Okay, so now onto the actual like summary of the story. So we start off with Macbeth and Banquo, who have just won a war for Scotland, and both are said to be like great military generals. Macbeth more than Banquo. So then Macbeth and Banquo after the battle are approached by the witches, and Macbeth is like, "What are you doing here? Who are you?" Like he does not like want any like anything to do with them. But then they tell Macbeth that he will be made the Thane of Cawdor, and then he will be made king. And then they tell Banquo that he will not be king, but that his progeny will be. Yeah. So then
Macbeth kept like asking questions. Yeah. And they refused to answer anything other than that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we can't tell you anything else, but it will happen. Mm-hmm. And obviously they didn't believe him. Macbeth and
Macbeth's
Banquo, just like this is not true.
Well, Banquo wasn't too like against the idea, like he didn't want to, like Macbeth was like, no, this is blasphemy. I'm just never gonna believe this. I'm not gonna believe these like people. I'm not gonna not gonna put any stock into this. But then they're like summoned to King Duncan's castle, and then Macbeth is rewarded.
Well, before that, Macbeth like goes up to Banquo and he's like, we should probably not tell anyone about this.
Mm-hmm. Because
if anyone does find out, the king could kill them. Just in case.
Because it would be like seen as an act of treason. They're trying to move up and stuff. But okay. So then Macbeth is putting more stock into it after he's promoted to become the Thane of Cawdor. He was already the Thane of like Gom, I think it was called. But he then gets promoted to become the Thane of Cawdor.
I'm pretty sure it's like a much higher.
It's
way higher.
And then
because I think the Thane of Cawdor before that is killed during the war.
Probably.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah. But then he sees this happening, so he's like, wow, the witches were actually right about this.
Because he was not expecting that at all. It was like a huge promotion. And he wasn't expecting it. So he was like, if this could happen, then maybe the rest of the prophecy is true.
Mm-hmm. So then he writes to Lady Macbeth, his wife, and then she starts scheming about, because she's been told, these witches told me that I would become the Thane of Cawdor. I didn't believe them. And then they also told me I would become the king. But now that I have been made the Thane of Cawdor, I might like start believing them. Mm-hmm. So then Lady Macbeth is obviously wanting to like help her husband fulfill his destiny, like the prophecy has been given. So she starts plotting like a murder of King Duncan, as she sees that as being like the only viable, like feasible way in which Macbeth could become the king. So yeah, then the King Duncan and his children are invited to
there's also one more part. So like Macbeth throughout this whole thing is like very passive.
Yes.
He just wants to like let fate take its course, and if it does happen, it does happen. But Lady Macbeth is like, I'm gonna make this happen myself.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna like let this come to fate. If someone said it, so if the witches say it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play a part in it.
Yeah, and Macbeth is very against the idea of killing Duncan because, like he said, he just wanted like the future to play out. He did not want to take a part of it. He did not want to be guilty. If in case he did not become king, he did not want Duncan's blood on his hands.
But if it does happen, he's not going to be against it.
But Lady Macbeth is able to guilt trip Macbeth by like attacking his manhood. She's like the OG manipulator. I love Lady Macbeth. It's like so Gone Girl.
Yeah, I've done this.
She just manipulates him. She's like, you're not a man if you don't do this. It's like top tier like manipulation. And so then he's like, okay, I have to prove to my wife that I am a man. I'm this great military general. Let me like start trying to live up to this.
Yeah.
So then at the feast that they're throwing for Duncan, I think it was just because of Macbeth's promotion to Thane of Cawdor. She like sedates all the guards. She puts everybody to sleep. So then while
she also like makes them like really drunk.
Yeah. And that's why they can't remember anything. So yeah, Duncan's like sleeping in his chambers. And Lady Macbeth gives a dagger to Macbeth.
Yeah.
And Macbeth goes in there. He stares at Duncan for a while because he really does not want to go through with the action of killing someone who is like a friend to him. But then he eventually does succumb to the temptation of becoming king.
Macbeth was in the room with him, I think, and she was like, "You're still not acting like a man."
Yeah.
Was she or was?
No, she was there.
She was there. Yeah, she was.
Because then she takes the dagger and like puts it outside with the guards.
Yeah, she puts it in the guards' hands.
Yeah, so that they're blamed for it. So I'm telling you, Lady Macbeth, different type of woman. So yeah, after this we have the roles change. Macbeth becomes the bloodthirsty one, and then Lady Macbeth is.
It's a gradual change, though.
Yeah,
it's not like instant.
Yeah, it's not instant because even after Duncan's death, Macbeth is still feeling incredibly guilty about it. But as the days go on, his ambition like drives him to a point of no return where he wants more and more. He wants to secure his power. Yeah. That's partly also because he feels as though he's done too much to lose like the power. Because like think about it, like.
Well, yeah, I think like he feels like once he's like started, he does this like, he's like, I've already done this. I might as well keep like going. There's like no point of stopping right now.
Yeah. So yeah, we have that. Oh yeah. So then Macbeth wants to kill Banquo and his kid Fleance because if
Banquo's supposed to be the
Banquo's progeny.
Yeah, Progony's supposed to be the king.
Yeah. So then Banquo is killed, but Fleance is able to flee.
Fleance is the son of
Banquo.
Banquo.
So yeah, he also sends out for Macduff and Macduff's family, but Macduff is not. He's like at war because he's also another one of these like military figures in Scotland, but he's able to successfully kill Macduff's family. But that'll come into play later. King Duncan's son, or one of them is killed, the other one survives. I think it's Donald Bane, the one that dies. And I don't remember. Oh, Malcolm is the one that survives. That's his name. Yeah. Because then he later becomes king at the end of the story. But we'll get to that. So then Macbeth is king. He starts trying to kill anybody that could like cause a rebellion like against him. Meanwhile, Lady Macbeth is like unable to sleep. She anytime she goes to like wash her hands or something, she'll like see blood on her hands. She'll see blood on her dresses that she like can't like get off. She can't get the blood off.
She's hallucinating.
Yeah. She also can't sleep. Neither can Macbeth. Macbeth is not able to sleep for a while, but
he keeps seeing like ghosts.
Yes, this comes when they have a feast because he's become king. He sees Banquo's ghost. And this is also a thing that Shakespeare himself like has a lot of the ghosts in Hamlet. Also, you should read Hamlet. It's a lot like the Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's literally like the Lion King but with people. Yeah. So yeah, we have the ghost of Hamlet's dad telling him like what to do and stuff in Hamlet. But here we have the ghost, just like guilt tripping Macbeth. So yeah, that's something that happens. So both Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, neither of them can sleep, but
they feel really guilty, extremely guilty because of what they done.
But that's the thing. Macbeth starts losing that guilt. Like his lack of sleep just like pushes him more insane. That makes him more insane, and it makes Lady Macbeth more like guilty. And that's eventually that leads Lady Macbeth to it's not actually said that she kills herself, but it's implied because she dies. So yeah, that like pushes Macbeth even further towards a point of no return. He wants to know if his destiny is still intact. He goes to talk to the witches, and the witches tell him, you don't have anything to worry about in terms of your future, so long as
Macbeth was also pretty pissed because he was like, I did this.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I did this.
That's why
because of what you told me, and my wife died because of this. So you better give me confirmation that I'm gonna become king.
That this was all worth it. Yeah. So, but yeah, they tell him that he's fine so long as Burnham Bridge does not march towards him. They tell him not to mess with Macduff. But
you said bridge. Forest.
Is it? It's a forest.
Yeah, you said bridge.
Did I say bridge?
Yeah.
It's tripping. Well, it's I said Burnham Bridge. Yeah. I don't know why I said that, but it's Burnham Forest. Okay, so that marches towards him. They tell him not to mess with the Macduff, but they also tell him that he will be safe against, or he cannot be killed by a man, woman born. So he can't be killed by any he takes this as them saying he will not be able to die because
it's impossible.
I feel like low-key I would have interpreted it like that too, like the witches are low-key tripping with that
because it's like low-key like two like almost like impossible things that can happen. The forest marching towards him and then a man not being born of a woman. So he was like a little he was like satisfied. He was like, I guess it was worth it because I won't be I won't be overthrown. But I can't be killed.
But then Macduff finds his family dead. He knows it was Macbeth because Macbeth has become like tyrannical, this like oppressor.
He killed the children too.
Yes.
His wife and the children.
Yeah.
That was also a big theme because the children are innocent and he had no reason to kill them. But he still did.
No, this happens a lot because also the children Lady Macbeth says that Macbeth that they have children, that they've had children, but they're never touched again. It never says what happened to those children if they die, like if they're just off somewhere else. She just has like a little comment about them like having children. She's like, oh yeah, I've raised our children or something along the lines of that. But okay, we move with that. Where were we? Oh yeah, so Macduff starts make it like he's like assembling the banners against
he's assembling Banquo's sons and Duncan's sons too. And getting
and all the people that hate Macbeth because Macbeth has become like a bad king. This back to the real life Macbeth. The king that Macbeth was based off of was not a bad king, and this was basically Shakespeare just wrote Macbeth to be a bad king so that it could like push the narrative. So Macduff's army faces off against Macbeth's army, and like Macbeth's army's winning because Macbeth is like this like insane military general. Like nobody could like hold a candle to him. He's like full of confidence and stuff. So then he tells Macduff while them two are battling, he's like,
before that, the forest. How did
they get Okay, so back to the prophecy that they give him that the forest, that he can't lose until a forest or until Burnham Forest comes towards him.
So yeah, we find out how like this can actually be true.
Macduff and his men cut off the forest, like the branches and stuff, and they like use it to like hide. I still don't know how they were able to like move so close to the castle. Like
yeah, they're like pretending like it's like in the cartoons. Where
yeah,
like,
when they
cover themselves in
that's so
take
dumb.
a few steps. Shakespeare probably created that the idea.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, they like get like really close to the castle, and then again they're fighting. Macbeth tells Macduff, "I'm not gonna lose. I can't be killed by a man, a woman born." But then Macduff like his big reveal. He's like, "Oh, that means I am the guy that will kill you because I was born of a C-section." And this just like kills Macbeth. He just like starts giving up on life. He's like, "No, I've met my match." He's winning like the fight against Macduff. But then he's like, "Oh no, he was born of a C-section. Whatever will I do?"
I think like he was like still like in the story. He was like, "I still need to fight," but he was also like,
"Yeah, but now he's
like I'll fight to the end, but I'm screwed." So he lost all confidence.
Yeah. So yeah, Macduff is able to beat Macbeth, cuts off his head, presents it to Malcolm. Malcolm is made king, and happily ever after.
And apparently, like, what it's like saying is Banquo's kid. Who was it?
That was Fleance. But see that's never like.
But it's basically like there's like if you like try to like look forward into the story, you're gonna see that it's like saying like there's never an end to this. So Banquo's kid will probably think the same thing because he probably heard the prophecy, and he will try to take over.
And that's probably why he will be. And that's probably why he will become king.
Yeah, because
I actually hadn't thought about that. I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, if Fleance marries, or like he'll have a son that marries like Malcolm's daughter or something.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. But yours makes more sense. So yeah, we have that. Now we can. You want to go over the symbols first or the themes?
Let's go over themes.
Themes. Okay. So do you want to present one that you thought of?
I think fate is a really big one.
Fate is probably the biggest one. Like the determinism, like whether his future was like set in stone from the beginning.
Whether you could change it, whether whether like it would like what any action he did could affect his fate. And basically like by the end of the story it would like the answer to that was no. Like his fate was foretold and it couldn't be changed.
See, this is my favorite aspect of the book, is it's like I was telling you before, it's like really reminiscent of like Anakin's story, because we have Macbeth, who's like this hero, just he's literally like Anakin. He's like this like great like military general, like everybody looks up to him and stuff. But then he's told. Yeah, he's given like a prophecy. So Anakin's like the chosen one. He's supposed to like be the guy that brings balance to the force, and then
he goes insane.
Yeah, and the same thing happens to Macbeth. He's supposed to become king, and then they both get power hungry. It's the parallel.
Shakespeare created Star Wars too.
Yeah, no. Do you think George Lucas like based it off of Shakespeare? Because it's supposed to be based off. It's based off of Dune.
Because like that's like a huge thing that's like been through many stories. Like, it's not just like just insane.
Well, so George Lucas says that he based the
off
Anakin.
Dune?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
It was because
when was Dune written?
1976. Have you read it?
No, I've been wanting to know.
I read it maybe when it was like announced that it was gonna come, because like as soon as I heard that Denis Villeneuve was gonna direct it, because he's the director of Blade Runner 2049. Yeah. Insane. So yeah, as soon as I heard that, I picked up the book. But yeah, so apparently he based it off of Dune, because you have Paul Atreides. I mean, you've seen Dune though.
I have.
Okay, yeah. So he's like the Paul Atreides is like the chosen one. So then Anakin was supposed to be like the chosen one. So he like based that.
Hold up.
What?
You just spoiled it. Can I?
Do you not? No, yeah. Go on.
You just spoiled it for me.
I feel like
because. Yeah, you just spoiled Dune, it. Yes, you did.
Dune came out like what, 2019?
So wait, so just like the story of Anakin, that's based off of Dune.
Yeah, it's just the prophecy of Anakin.
You spoiled it.
Well, no, I mean, not really. It's just you know that Paul is the chosen one.
Yeah, but the same thing that Paul that would go. I didn't know Paul would go crazy and like killing everyone.
Oh no, but he does. Do you want me to tell you?
No, don't tell me.
Well, it's not the exact same. It's just mainly
but, like, that's the
not really.
I did not expect that. I thought like Paul would be like the benevolent leader.
He's not a bad guy. Like
I mean,
no, he doesn't turn bad. I'll just leave it at that.
Then what? He's
just kind of like
he goes too far.
Yeah. Book 2 opens up in an insane way because it's like a whole war. Guy.
Is the second movie off? Is the second movie off Dune 2?
Or is it split? No, so yeah, it's split. Where we left off with the first Dune is like 324 pages in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
how long is it?
It's 600? Like 700. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we still have like the whole war to get to. Did you see?
Is there Dune 3?
There will probably be like 8. There's like 6 books, and there's gonna be a lot if they go through all the books
right now.
Yeah, there's like 6 books. I think there's more.
And each one's like 700.
No. The second one's like 400.
I low-key did not know. I did not know like there was a Dune book until that time I went to the like Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah, really?
No.
That's crazy. But yeah,
I thought it was just like a standalone movie created by Dennis.
No. Did you see that Florence Pugh got cast in Dune?
No.
No.
Wait, who?
Florence Pugh.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got cast. She actually plays a really important character. It's Princess of Rulon, in the Dune book.
There's like the character who plays Zendaya, or the character who Zendaya plays. Does she become more prominent in the second?
She's very important. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
because like in the first movie, she's like barely like she's there, like she's obviously an important character, but it doesn't like look like Shakespeare.
Yeah, no, she's barely in it like 5 minutes. Like, yeah, but no,
it's like weird shots of
no,
her.
she's far more prominent in the second one. She's like teaching like a Paul how to
don't spoil
it. Okay, whatever. Let's get off of the Dune tangents. Back to so determinism is also a philosophical concept taking like mass prominence during Shakespeare's time. So of course he's gonna want to like give his like 2 cents on it.
But like it's also like the fate thing is also like asking whether he like should know, like whether knowing his fate is a good thing or a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like knowing your fate, like you can't just like know your fate and just like leave it, like let it happen. You have to take action on it.
But that's the thing.
So is it like, so the question is it was him knowing his fate and his actions because of him knowing his fate?
Mm-hmm.
Was did that cause like the conclusion, or was it
always going to happen?
Was it always going to happen either way?
Yeah. That's the whole predeterminism thing.
It doesn't really answer it, but it kind of like says that you can't like change your fate. That's the only thing it answers.
And again, we see Macbeth actually like question this, because he's like, "Oh, am I really supposed to kill King Duncan, or am I just gonna become king? Like, is he gonna crown me or something?"
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we see Lady Macbeth go through with the murder.
Another weird thing, it doesn't like really play out the witches like the bad people, which is kind of weird because like it doesn't like really say that the bad, like wait.
Well, the bad things happen because of the witches, but they're.
But the reason they're just like they're not like.
Yeah, no, they're just.
No, I think the reason the witches do it is because I think there was a reason they did it.
So that it would push him to, like.
No, I think maybe they like killed a sister or something. Was that? I'm not sure if I remember.
No, I don't remember that happening.
But like it doesn't like really say that they're a bad character, like because like witches at the time they weren't very like they were like hated. Because
there was a lot of like we have like the Salem here in the U.S.
So
but like the witch hunts have been going on forever.
Yeah, so like Shakespeare was like a little revolutionary. To like not play them as the complete bad.
He's like such a feminist
character.
too, like giving making Lady Macbeth the manipulator. Like
typically in a story like that, the man would be the one who would like play out everything, but Lady Macbeth has like a pretty
Lady Macbeth is more like the one that like she's
like without Lady Macbeth this would never happen.
Yeah, exactly. So Macbeth is like kind of the passive, like he's a passive main character. Meanwhile, Lady Macbeth is like the active one. She's the one that progresses. Her and the witches are the ones that progress the story. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's one theme that we touched on. The other one was like I wrote it down as manhood, but we could also just talk about gender in general because we were talking about the
gender roles.
Yeah,
or gender norms.
Yeah. So there's a quote where Lady Macbeth says, "Unsex me Let's look at that one.
It says, "Unsex me here, come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gal."
Yeah, so basically, it's gall.
Gall.
But yeah, she's basically saying, oh yeah, rid me of my womanly like features, and like stop me from menstruating, stop me from lactating, for I must commit an action that's not of a woman.
Like a woman typically does not do this.
Yeah, she's not the one scheming.
Yeah. She's basically saying like, give me like the role or the power, the courage of man, so I can like do what needs to be done, because my husband is obviously not going to do it.
So also like we were talking about, she guilt trips Macbeth, or like she like manipulates. She says, "You're not being a man right now. A real man would fulfill his destiny by killing the king." Yeah. So we have that again. We touched on the genderlessness of the witches.
Ambition is also a really big theme.
Yes, and like we were talking about, he becomes a tyrannical ruler. We see the ambition coming from Lady Macbeth, because she's like, she hears the fact that they're gonna become royalty, and she's like, oh okay, let's try and fulfill our destiny. But then it's Macbeth that he's the one that becomes obsessed with staying in power, and again, it's partly because he doesn't want every action he's made to go to waste, but it's also just because he's become power hungry. He's become bloodthirsty. I mean, he was bloodthirsty from the beginning, because you remember it's at the beginning with the war, he's like, it's very graphic, he's set to chop people in half, cut their heads off and stuff. Have you seen the movie?
No.
I
know this movie.
With
really big actors.
Michael Fassbender. He was Magneto in the X-Men. I tried seeing some of it. It's kind of boring, because it's Shakespearean speech.
I know, it's weird. No one talks like that.
I know. It's I'm okay with reading that, but I'm not gonna listen to that.
The whole point of it is supposed to be I wouldn't mind seeing it in a play, but in a movie, it's just weird.
One thing I did like from that movie was the gore and the fight scenes. The fight scenes, they're slowed down. So the war is it's in slow mo.
Was the final war, was it a whole ton of people, or was it just the sons?
No, it's
a whole ton of people.
So it's everything. So everything in the background is going out of focus. You can see a lot of people fighting, but it's just
Macbeth
and Macduff
in the middle.
So that's the movie.
How does it show the ghosts?
I don't think the ghosts were in there. That was kind of the bad thing about watching it very early in the morning. I had nothing to do that morning, so I just put it on 7 a.m. half asleep. So that's that one. So we were talking about manhood. What were the other themes that we?
There was determination too.
That's kind of the fate.
Ambition,
That's the determinism of it. That's fate.
Really? How?
Determinism.
All of them are connected. All three of them are connected.
Determinism is the philosophical concept that something that your future is already predetermined, no matter what any action.
Oh, I thought it was just determination.
No. It's determinism. That's it's predestined.
I think that's it for themes.
I'm
sure there's a lot more you can find, but those are the main big ones.
I mean, we have the symbols. Blood, we were talking about. Lady Macbeth sees the blood on her hands, her dress. She, or we also with the heads and stuff. There's blood.
The blood symbolizes the guilt that they feel, and corruption.
Same with the ghost. The ghost is a symbol of the guilt, and I guess
Sleep.
All of the symbols are really about the guilt. Because no, because we have the two different aspects of the sleep. Because we have
sleep is when typically sleep symbolizes innocence. When you're asleep, you don't have
tranquility,
any bad thoughts or anything. I mean, you do, but they're you can't take action on them. It's just you're innocent. They're in your sleep, and the fact that after they kill the king, they can't sleep. So I mean, they've lost all their innocence.
And then Macbeth has
guilt.
Macbeth has a line where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm envious of Duncan because he's in an eternal slumber which I cannot attain." So
first he kills Duncan, and then he is jealous of him.
Because of the sleep thing. were those all the... Well, there's, like, clothing and stuff with, like, how the...
There's the daggers, too.
Oh, the dagger. Because the dagger goes to backstabbing. So, we all know the whole backstabbing, yeah. Like, being stabbed in the back. Mm-hmm. The dagger is given to Macbeth by Lady Macbeth, so that he can kill King Duncan, who is like, he's his patron. He's always looked out for Macbeth. And also
the fact that Macbeth invited him to his castle and they're like guests. Mm-hmm. It's a big part because like you can't just kill a guest at your own castle.
You remember
there was a part in there I think where a ref like talked about that.
Yeah, no, that's, do you remember also in Game of Thrones? That's how when they kill Robb.
Yeah, what was it? The blood, the red wedding.
The red wedding. Yeah. When they kill Robb, because they literally had to like cheat to kill Robb because Robb was that good of a military leader. Yeah. They had to like break.
They were like, there was no way they would have.
Yeah, they had to break like sacred laws of Westeros to kill Robb, because you can't cause any harm to your guests.
Yeah.
That's like
also
been seen.
The what do I want to say? Keep going. What were you saying? Oh, like I generally think like that's like one of the best episodes ever aired.
No,
like,
it is. It's so good.
Of
like Robb is my favorite character, but like I just love that episode.
Yeah.
I hate that
not
happened.
even just like Game of Thrones.
No, all of TV. I'm pretty sure it's one of the highest rated. I think it's the second highest rated episode of Game of Thrones, but it's like in the top 10 for most highest rated of all time, like amongst any series. You know what the two top are? Or it's like,
I don't know the first one.
No, oh well, I mean for Game of Thrones, it's Battle of the Bastards is number 1.
Yeah.
And then Reigns of Castamere, which is the Red Wedding one. But
I think the episode is called the Red Wedding.
No, it's called Reigns of Castamere.
Is it?
Yeah. Trust me, I rewatched.
Why is it called Reigns of Castamere? Is that like the torture place?
Castamere is the castle.
Okay.
So and then the Reigns is like the torment, like the like you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's it called? Ozymandias, the episode from Breaking Bad. That's like the highest rated episode.
Which one is that?
I haven't watched them.
Yeah,
Breaking Bad, but that's the highest rated episode. 2 Clone Wars episodes are on there. There's like from season 7 where like Ahsoka's fighting Maul, but yeah. So yeah, back to the whole thing where I was saying that was a sacred law amongst all kingdoms that you cannot harm your guest. It's just seen as a bad thing. It's like, I don't know what I would compare it to, but it's just something you cannot do because it's frowned upon by God.
I mean, it's in like every single culture. Mm-hmm. You cannot kill like your guest.
You cannot cause any harm to your guest. You're supposed to be
hospitable.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh well, Ozymandias was like the one where they find out everything. It's like the big episode.
Yeah. That's like the highest rated episode.
That's really good
of all time.
If you haven't seen Breaking Bad,
I tried watching Soul, but
you have to see Breaking Bad before.
I'm not gonna watch Breaking Bad.
Why not?
I don't care about the bald guy.
Dude,
I don't.
You're just hating.
I don't care about the bald guy. Soul is at least cool because he's like a lawyer, like he's that guy.
Well, Breaking Bad, like the guy's a chemist, bro. And he becomes a nationally known drug dealer.
Only chemistry I care about is the chemistry between me and your mom. Like I don't care.
Seriously.
Yeah, tangent there, but we move.
What's the next thing?
I think that's really all.
There's hallucinations too, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, we can. Well, again, we were talking about the blood on her hands, the ghost. It's again representing guilt. All the symbols in this are representative of guilt. Well, there's probably other symbols that we didn't think of, but yeah.
I guess like the main theme of the story is like not the main theme. Like a big part of it is guilt. Like it's like referenced multiple times throughout it.
Guilt, living with your own actions, like again, fate. This is all. I guess if we were. Oh, actually, one thing I wanted to ask you: do you think Macbeth is a villain or just a flawed hero?
I don't think there's any good, like, really great traits of his. So I'd say villain.
You think he's a villain? See,
like, I don't think, like, I think if he had the, I
think he's definitely the antagonist, but I don't think he's the villain.
Like, the villain and flawed hero thing, is that, like, is what you're referencing, like, is the difference between them? Is a villain, like looking for, I guess a villain would be, like, looking for power from the start. And a flawed hero would just, like, be influenced by the fact that he knows
because he's basically let society dictate what he's gonna do. Like he's letting his wife manipulate
Actually,
him.
I think he's the flawed.
I also think he's the flawed hero, because Shakespeare also writes his villains in a completely different way. Like you haven't read Othello, but in Othello he's got this character Iago. Iago is bad from the beginning. He's a racist. He's like hating on women. He's like always always like.
Is he the protagonist?
No. Well, he's not the protagonist, but he's definitely the character that gets the most lines. Because it's Othello. He's got this thing where he's like, or Shakespeare's got this thing where he's like names the plays based off of like the titular characters. Like we have Othello, Julius Caesar, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, Hamlet, King Lear. Like it's all based off of like the titular character. But yeah, Iago is definitely the one that has the most lines in it. But yeah, Iago's just evil from the beginning. Like so he's a bad guy.
Then what? What's the?
Well, what I'm saying is that like, he's not. Shakespeare doesn't write his villains like Macbeth is written. Macbeth, you want Macbeth to succeed at some points. Like you feel bad for him at some points. You're like, oh, I don't want Macbeth to get caught. I know he's doing this is like what he's doing is wrong, but I still cheer for him.
I don't really feel that way.
You don't feel that way?
I was like, this is like he's like this is gonna happen. Like there's nothing that can stop it. He's screwed from the start.
No, but you don't hate Macbeth. I felt like I was like cheering for him. Like you kind of sympathize with him.
No, but like I wasn't like sympathizing with him. I was like, like don't follow your fate. Don't like let yourself be influenced.
Yeah, no.
But like after you started killing everyone, I was like, he's just screwed. He's
yeah. That's where I was getting at with the flawed hero versus villain, because Iago's a villain from the beginning. You never root for that. Like you're entertained by his actions just because he. You know how like I'm joking about Lady Macbeth being like this like big manipulator. Iago is that manipulator. Like he's got all of society against Othello. Like he's just making up lies about everybody. Like he's like stealing a handkerchief from Othello's wife and then giving it to another dude so that Othello thinks that his wife is like cheating on him. Like no, bro is the model manipulator. But yeah, I guess that's all we have to talk about.
He's the original Sigma.
Yeah, he is the original Sigma. I guess we'll just leave it at that. All right.
Wait, hold up. Do you have anything else?
I think.
Do you have like anything like you wanna question or something? What do you think the quote "fair is foul and foul is fair" means?
When does that take place? Do you remember?
That the witches say it multiple times.
Really?
Throughout like every time they meet him.
Foul is fair. Foul or
fair is foul and foul is fair.
Do you have any like?
Basically, what it's saying is,
I think it's like a all's fair in love and war type of thing. Like,
yeah. It's like, well, it's
like your actions might be bad, but
it doesn't like matter. Like in the big scheme of things, like it doesn't matter whatever you do.
Yeah. I mean, another one of the quotes was about the Sun and Fury. So again, it's going back to the whole like determinism thing. Like, if everything is predetermined. William Faulkner, in the 1950s, writes a book, Sun and Fury. It's also touching the
this
topic
is also
of,
like part of the Sound of Fury is a quote.
It's a quote. Yeah.
Macbeth. I can pull it up actually.
Yeah, we can do that. But yeah.
Oh, it's basically saying, life's but a walking shadow. Poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. One of the best lines, like
it's so good. That's why Faulkner uses it.
And Macbeth says this after his wife dies.
So it's like a soliloquy.
Because he's like screw this life. There's nothing that I can do that actually matters.
Yeah, because he's lost his wife and now he's like, oh, everything that I did was for nothing.
Like he's basically saying, like he says that like That's like such good symbolism, because he's like, life is written by an idiot. He's it's like, it makes no sense. There's no like linear thing that happens. It's not like if you do good, you get good things. If you do bad, you get bad things. You're just screwed from the start.
All right. Yeah.
What were you saying about the book that's written off of it?
Oh yeah, no, I was just focusing on the fact that the thing is about like determinism, and then Faulkner writes the Sound and the Fury to be like, to also question like have the like main theme of the book be about, oh, is everything that happens supposed to happen, and is there any meaning to your life if everything that happened? Yeah, that's why I still love this book, because
I watched it.
Yeah, no, well, I've tried reading Sound and the Fury, but I know what it's about. No, I haven't seen the movie, but no, what I was getting at is, this is why I feel like Macbeth is so good. It's
inspired a lot of like
it's deeply
a lot
influential.
Of works. Yeah,
like
inspired like a lot of themes, that you see today in like modern literature. They're still inspired because of Macbeth. Like the fact, I'm not sure if like the fact that like the themes like fate, corruption, guilt, those were all popularized by Macbeth.
But yeah,
pretty much it.
To end it, Shakespeare isn't real. Shakespeare is a conglomeration of people who are trying to manipulate the masses by telling us that life is meaningless, and
watch out for witches.
Yeah, watch out for witches. And women. They manipulate you. Yep.